Oh, excuse me. Good morning, bows and bow ties. Thanks for visiting my channel. I am the Black Opinionated Woman, also known as a bow, and I just want to hop right on into it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come off camera because, it is dark out here, and, I don't want to give anyone a reason to pull me over or anything. So, I'm just going to have my avatar show. Okay. I may come back on towards the end if I remember to take myself off of, you know, bring myself back onto video. All right. So look, let's just get on into this for a second. I was minding my own business. I was minding my own business. I got up, did my shower routine, all that good stuff, and then let me rephrase that. I was lying in bed and started looking at TikTok a little bit because I hadn't really looked at a whole lot, and then did my normal routine, and then I followed a little bit more. And so, while I was doing that, I ran across this one particular content creator. Um, I don't know her name, I didn't capture it. And this woman was going in on why motherhood is unfulfilling and all these mothers are just living through their kids. And oh my gosh, what happened? Did I go out? What's going on? Oh, okay. And all of these people are just living through their kids and all this other stuff. And although there could be some of that is true, but they talk about how motherhood isn't rewarding. And I went I went into the comments and there were women saying things like, yeah, we're getting degrees and this, that, and the other, and they're collecting kids and all this other stuff. And let me just say this. Like, yo, why is this like not trying to stay like my phone is trying to like cut off. So look, let me just say this. I was listening to this woman talk about how women don't understand and then they're having to leave the kids and this that, and the other. I would say this. Now, I'm going to go off the cuff, off the top of my head, because I could only listen to about, it was a long TikTok too. So I don't know how long she had been going on. It could have been like maybe 3 minutes or whatever. But I've probably listened to about maybe like a minute or so, give or take. So look, okay, so why is this trying to like, I don't understand. Like, what is going on with my situation? Okay, I'm gonna come back on camera for a little bit, and hopefully this will stop that from doing weird things. So, look, this is the way I see it. Um, I got married a little bit later, right? Um, I went to college. I spent time as an Air Force officer for 5 years. I traveled the world. I came back stateside when I was 25, 26. Um, because I was living overseas. I dated, and eventually, and then I started having, I got like children, getting married, that whole thing. Um, I know what it's like to be single. I know what it's like to be a mom. I know what it's like to be married. You know, I've been on both sides. I know what it's like to be a working professional. I know what it's like to be a stay at home mom. And I know what it's like to be a working mom. Okay. So I'm going to give opinions based off of my collection of experiences. I just want to make this clear. I did not do research. Like, I did not check the Pew Research. I did not check the National Institutes of Health. I didn't do any of that. I'm going to give it to you from my perspective. I think when I hear women make these comments about being child free and childless and everything like that, it's better. Um, all of those women who have children are miserable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think multiple things can be true. Or let me rephrase that. I think you can be child free and happy. You can be child free and unhappy. Just like you can be a mother and happy, and you can be a mom and unhappy. I think it's going to depend on your environment, your collection of experiences. All right. That's the reality of it. I just find it interesting. Now look, I just want to be clear. Bow Wow. Okay. So I'm hollering, hit dogs will holler, right? Because I kind of felt like, now I'm not gonna lose sleep over this, let's be clear. But for whatever reasons today, I felt like I had time today to address that because I don't understand why women who are child free, childless, whichever word you want to use, some use certain words that make it sound glamorous. I don't feel why, I don't understand. I don't understand why it's always the childless women want to come for motherhood. I want to make this clear because I don't see, look, I'm sure there are some out there, but I don't see en masse mothers, women with children coming after single women. What I see are, or child free women, let me rephrase that, because, well, many of them are single too. What I see is a collection of two things: women without children coming for motherhood, right? As if it's bad. And then I also see women without children trying to freeze up all their eggs because they do want to have children one day. That does not mean I think that people who don't have children are unhappy. I think there are some who do wish they had children, but ultimately, I don't think every woman out there who's without children is unhappy. But I don't understand this weird take on coming for women with children. It's such a weird take because the way I look at it is when you are happy, you're going to focus on you. Okay, let me make this analogy. It's kind of like men who look like me. They're like, I don't date black women. No, I date these other women because black women aren't. I'm like, no, 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 no. Leave black women out of it. If you like somebody else, just like them. Tell me why you like something else. Don't tell me why you dislike something else. And I secretly think that many of them actually do like women. They got to deal with their trauma or whatever it is. But I just kind of feel like, but I don't care. Date what you want to date. Like I don't understand why you got to keep bringing like black women into it. And that's the kind of thing. So if you're going to promote being child free and how great it is, why do you have to attack motherhood? You're not promoting your child freeness. Promote that and let it stand on its own. If it can't stand on its own, then the argument is weak. But then there's this projection of all these women are just living through the kids, all this stuff. Let me tell you something. Because I'm hollering right now. Bow wow, right? Rough, rough. Let me tell you something. One of my greatest successes, like my husband will probably tell you this, probably not in these words. He's similar. Like we love our children. As dysfunctional of a family we are, we enjoy watching them grow and expand their world horizons. We take them away from their comfort zones and we travel with them. And then they explore their different interests, right? And they play their sports and they have their successes and their failures. Some of my kids are more athletic than others and doing incredibly well. They have different interests. My one son likes to fly planes, so we try to foster that. I mean, it's a very expensive activity, right? But the point I'm making is I enjoy watching that transformation and knowing that I had a hand in it, right? Now, it's not my life to live. If you want to call it living through my kids, I don't know, that's fine. But to watch them have successes and with failures and their successes, watching them overcome through adversity, watching them grow, transform, and be the people that they're growing into. Like, I know that sounds like a lot of words. There is something incredibly satisfying about that. Now, are there times along the way when it is stressful and it is tiring and it is expensive, and you spend time worrying about them. Oh, absolutely. But what you can't do is sit there and bash motherhood, because if you look at just how there's something about the way parents and mothers, for example, are with their children. Watch how animals are when they birth their babies. I'm not trying to compare human beings to animals. And watch how protective they are over their babies. There's something about having your own child, something that comes from you, and that protection, and you watch them develop. Watch how, because I'm big into the lions, right? I love watching like National Geographic like videos, and I love watching how like lion cubs grow up, even those ugly hyenas. You watch how the elephants take care of their babies. Like, there's something about when a mother is raising her child. There's something about, let me tell you something. This is not even related, but I just wanted to get that out there because I spoke on this in another video. We had disembarked our cruise in Rome, Italy. No, it was at the port Civitavecchia, whatever, Civitavecchia. But basically they consider that Rome. And I remember we were trying to leave the terminal, and this other woman was rushing, and she kept running up the back of my child. And so, I had to verbally chin check this lady. I'm like, lady, what are you doing? And she tried to get loud. I said, no, 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 no. You can get this work. I don't care if we're here in Rome or not. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop. Because you're invading my child's space. Like, he can't go any faster than the people who are in front of him. So she was knocking into my child, who was then knocking into my other child, who was getting ready to get into it. Now you're like, what? Stop, because now he's thinking that his brother is trying to do something crazy, and he wasn't. It was just that he was getting knocked. And I'm like, what are you doing? Because now I'm thinking like, I'm gonna have to break up an unnecessary like verbal altercation between my two boys. Stop! What are you doing? Stop! Stop! You know how that goes. One runs at the back of somebody, he's thinking he's doing something. Anyway, the point is, there's something about how women are with their children. And now, this was really not exactly like related. This was probably just me yammering, and because I'm going to cuff. Where I'm going with this is women, because it's not related, but I just to get that out there again. Women who are childless, child free, whichever word you want to use to describe your scenario, I feel like if you want to talk about how great your life is being child free, then talk about how great it is being child free. You should not have to diminish the fire of someone else in order to light your own. You should not have to denigrate someone in order to exalt yourself. I just don't understand this weird obsession with trying to tear down mothers. Now, are there mothers who are in some weird situations, and so maybe they can't fully enjoy motherhood the way it was maybe designed because maybe they have bad um, partners that they had children with. Maybe they have financial insecurity. Maybe it could be a variety of things. Of course, that's going on. But to sit there and say motherhood is not rewarding, well, people can say being child free is not rewarding. Let me tell you something. The people I know who were child free, I think as time went on, and they would watch people who had children, like they always had they always had these things to celebrate, these little milestones, the school concerts that you get tired of going to, but you go because you watch as they get better playing their instrument. Do you remember the remember all those kinds of concerts? They people with children always have some sort of, my kids weren't theater kids, but they had some sort of theater production thing to go to at the school, or a band concert, or a game, whatever it is, right? If you're into sports, they've always had practices, and then they had things to celebrate. End of season this. because you look at where you come from. They've always had things to celebrate, like a graduation, and then hopefully one day, they graduate from college, and then they find somebody, and then now you have a wedding to go to, and then they have their own children, right? You have these milestones and things to celebrate, and you have people to get together and to celebrate with during the holidays, and then you create these memories. That doesn't mean that the child-free person is less valuable and they can't create other memories. But what I did notice was, like, whenever there was always something going on, like, and you invite child-free people in because you love them too, but they were always there to celebrate other people's scenarios, or, like, as a parent, you get to watch your child see, like, the culmination and the things that they've achieved. You get to be there even when they don't reach their highest moment, right? You get to see that too, and you get to be a part of shaping that. But to sit there and tear down motherhood, is it tiring? Oh, absolutely. Because right before I got on here, I kid you not, I mean, I don't even want to show you the text messages I sent to my son. Like, I can't even driving. But I basically text him, I'm like, I told you to come down here and get your clothes and sheets. Now, these should not still be down here in this laundry room. They're clean. I'm like, this is why you're getting on my nerves. I mean, look, I didn't say I was a perfect parent. Yes, is it annoying that I have to keep saying, like, come get your crap? Absolutely. It absolutely is annoying. But it doesn't mean that, you know, motherhood isn't rewarding. It is most definitely tiring. I just don't understand, if you were child free, why you would continue to go onto social media and want to bash motherhood. If you want to promote being child free, then talk about the good things about being child free. Do it. Oh shoot, my whole situation just fell off. Oh, okay, let's see. Can I get this back on here? Oh, this is tag me. Okay, sorry. My bad. This is, wow, my whole situation just fell off. Anyway, so I listen to these women get on here talk about being child free, and all these mothers are just trying to live through their kids and this, that, and the other. Well, I don't mind if you're calling it living through your kids. I enjoy watching my kids, succeed. Are there failures along the way? Yes. I'm going to give you a quick little quick, since because this is the most recent thing. This is just the first thing on the top of my mind. My daughter is switching basketball teams, and she has an opportunity to go to a really good AAU team. There's a couple of them that are looking at her right now. Should she? I think she's going to get picked up. I'm fairly certain, because I know one definitely asked, and the other one's waiting. So there's a couple of trials coming out. But anyway, what I thought was interesting was, like, so they saw a lot of potential in her, but when I was looking at the talent out there, she would clearly be coming from the bottom, right? It's fine. You don't want to be the best person on the team, because where she was basically one of the best on the team. And now she's going to a place where she gets to learn and grow, and she's coming from the bench, probably deep from the bench. And she's excited about the opportunity. She's been going to training, and the training she went to a couple days ago, she got her behind handed to her so much. And one of the girls that she was training with, she's a little older, yelled at her. And I remember looking at my daughter, because she just was exhausted. We got to keep in mind, we just got off a plane a couple days ago, so she was jet lagged, and these girls are really good. And so her basketball fitness has to come back. So I'm watching my daughter just cook, and she is ready to throw up. She's so tired, and but she's learning a lot. In the very end, she was soaked from sweat. She was exhausted, and she said to me when we got in the car, "Can I go back tomorrow?" Which was last night. I was like, "Well, we can." She was like, "I don't even care that I got yelled at. This was the most fun I had. This is the most she's had this particular training with this particular person for the he's also one of the coaches for the team. um she's learning so much. She knows she's at the bottom right now, which that's going to change as she gets used to some of the things that they're doing and get her fitness. And she was happy and grateful. She just had her hind parts handed to her, and I was so proud of her because she didn't quit, even though she couldn't even lift her arms anymore. But to watch someone train and they're just getting cooked and they're getting handled, and her skill set has to change, right? But she's putting in the work. And to me, as a mom, watching her face adversity, and she's hungry, and she's getting handled right now. But it's starting to change. It's starting to change. She's getting better. Her fitness, she was always in shape, but this is a different type of fitness for this team. And long story short, I was just really proud at watching her go through this. And then, of course, my husband took her last night, and I think she had a better night. Also, I think the jet lag is wearing off, etc. But as a mom, I get to witness this transformation. And I listen to these women getting out there bashing motherhood. I'm like, stop bashing motherhood, especially for those who don't have any children. You need to stop bashing motherhood. If you're not even in a club, how can you talk about it? You're just an outside observer, probably watching some of the worst representation of motherhood, and then you're assigning that to all of motherhood. All right, so look, I'm close to my job. I need to get off of this phone, running my mouth. I can speak to this more, but I think you get the gist of it. I was like, I was a hit dog today. I was like, bow wow. I was bow wowing. All right. You know what to do. Go ahead, do all the things. Like, subscribe, send it to all the single mothers, or not the single mothers, the single people without children, and then send it to all the moms. I am curious to hear what your thoughts are. All right, let me get off of this, and yeah, that's pretty much it. All right.